North High School, North Minneapolis. A team of talent that has remained atop the polls at #1 all season long. The fuel fired by standout two-sport senior Chris Rainey with a 15.6 average, who recently disclosed his next step in athletics as University of Nebraska. His senior leadership gives a dangerous tool to North. Roosevelt High School, South Minneapolis, a program of championship strides and a big upsets. Ranked early in the season, Roosevelt has maybe the best point guard in the state. Rob Mestas, the city's representative in the top 10 Metro leaders in scoring and leads the city with a 22.6 average, will go Division I with Miami, Ohio in the conclusion of his high school career. Neither team having to rely on a single weapon for victory. North brings to the table quickness, good ball control, tenacious guard defense. Look for the city leaders in Khalid El-Amin averaging 21.6 per game and Jabbar Washington averaging 13.6 per game to assist. But watch out, North still goes 5 or 6 deep after that. Roosevelt, on the other hand, will bring height, experience, and a deadly inside-outside combination with one of the best big men in the conference in Griffin averaging 14.6 per game. Last time these two teams met at North High, Chris Rainey was unconscious from three-point range as North won. This time they'll play in one of the toughest gyms in the city to win with nothing but pride on the line, as Rob Mestas remembers his sophomore City Conference undefeated season and will attempt to stop North this year. In a game where North faces one of their toughest challenges yet, to win and stay undefeated and ranked #1. You found the best station in the state. Sit back and enjoy as Metro Area Sports Rap Productions is proud to present Minneapolis City Conference Boys Game of the Month. MASW says, how much do you care about high school sports? Take this opportunity to write down this number and purchase this and other high school game tapes. If you want to keep high school sports on cable TV, this is a must. All proceeds from tape sales will allow us to increase coverage of high school sports. Prove you care and show your support for MASW. It's in your hands. After all, you wouldn't want to miss this, would you?
Game of the month featuring the Minneapolis City Conference, Minneapolis North High Polars, ranked #1 in state versus the Minneapolis Roosevelt Teddies, 9-1 in conference play. Sponsored by Professional Sports Linkage, Jim Marshall and Oscar Reed, two former Minnesota Vikings working to build strong communities. With an office in the Sumner Olson neighborhood, stop on by and say hello. And also by our friends at Club Fed, a human service agency serving North and South Minneapolis. With 26 agency members, it's not hard to see Club Fed is your connection to the connections. Also by Hands-On, an after-school program, a program that challenges young, active minds to grow through expression and the arts. With special support from Bay's Chow Mein, located on Minnehaha Avenue in the South Roosevelt School area. And can you believe it? They deliver a unique lunch break. And of course, the MASW Crew Food Headquarters, Carboni's Pizza on the Parkway. Located on Cedar and Parkway, it definitely keeps our crew happily fed. Good evening and welcome to a nearly sold-out Jack Wells Gymnasium at Roosevelt High in South Minneapolis. I'm Rich Smith along with James Houston here to bring you the game. The Minneapolis North Polars ranked #1 in state against the Roosevelt Teddies. James, quickly, your impressions of the game this evening.
See, I tell you what, I think you'll see a whole different type of Roosevelt team from the last time. 27 turnovers. They only lost by 12 points. I talked to Rob Mestas earlier in the game. They felt like if they cut down on it as far as the turnovers, and they make better shots and everything, and they keep Jabbar Washington, man, like the super sophomore, off the boards, Roosevelt feel like they really have a shot at this game.
Okay, we'll be right back, so stay tuned for the Metro Area Sports Wrap Game of the Month.
He stood about 5'9" tall, but he was a giant. Billy Thomas. He ran the Boys and Girls Club where I grew up. Now, I know today is different. Young people face problems I never even had to think about. But that's why now we need the Boys and Girls Club. It's a positive place where thousands of people like Billy Thomas help young people succeed. Does it work? It did for me. Billy! Support the Boys and Girls Clubs.
And welcome back to Jack Wells Gymnasium, a packed house here this evening, James. And quickly, let's run over some of the keys for the Roosevelt team this evening against the North High Polar squad.
Well, Rich, I think for Roosevelt to be able to win this basketball game, they have to do a better job of playing man-to-man pressure. They have to use more zone principles as far as to confuse the North guards a little bit more, and don't let them just take those open shots because North has real good three-point shooters. I think rebounding is going to be a key for Roosevelt. They're going to have to be able to control the boards. The sophomore Jabbar Washington, who's just been wrecking shop totally. Along with that, they have to take smart shots, and because I think the most important thing is that they have to play with confidence. They have to play like they are at home. We can knock off the #1 team in the state.
Exactly.
And you know what? I think it can be done if they do all these keys. Now, on the other side, North needs to just, all you can do is just relax, okay? They need to be able to contain Mestas and Griffin, who's underneath, who's having an outstanding season.
Beautiful
underneath.
season.
They need to be able to run the basketball, and they can't let the Roosevelt supporting cast of Farrar, Gross, Wilson, and Hannah come up with big games tonight. It's going to be a good one, Rich.
I really think so, James. We are definitely in for a barn burner. And as I look around me also, James, I see a packed auditorium, a packed Jack Wells Gymnasium, and people are still coming in.
I tell you what, people have been talking about this game for the last month or so. They started talking about it as soon as the first one was over with.
I think so. And here we're getting
it's going to be a real big game and everything. I think the keys tonight is to watch the two D1 players go at it, Mestas and Rainey. I think, you know, man, these are two special kids that have special talents. And, man, like I tell you what, City Conference has really been treated well as far as these two young men, as far as playing basketball. As you know, Chris is an outstanding basketball player, but he's going to Nebraska for football. Rob Mestas, of course, basketball, University of Miami of Ohio. So, you know, kudos to all of them.
I agree 100%. It's great to see the Minneapolis City Conference spreading themselves out. And our starters for this evening, the North High squad, we'll put Chris Rainey, Khalid El-Amin,
Ozzie Lockhart will be the other one, and Jabbar Washington. And we're going to wait and see if it's going to be Henry Smith or either Albert Walls or either Albert Green. Those three are usually very, very interchangeable parts.
And on the Roosevelt side, we'll have Donnie Groch, Robert Mestas, Kevin Wilson, Elijah Hanna, and the threat underneath, Johnny Griffin. And we'll take a quick break here. We'll be right back with the game of the month.
MASW says, how much do you care about high school sports? Take this opportunity to write down this number and purchase this and other high school game tapes. If you want to keep high school sports on cable TV, this is a must. All proceeds from tape sales will allow us to increase coverage of high school sports. Prove you care and show your support for MASW. It's in your hands. After all, you wouldn't want to miss this, would you?
And remember, folks, the MASW tapes are necessary for us to continue to work hard for your athletes at home. Help us to continue to televise more events. Give us a call at 660-0319 for further information.
And that fifth spot, Rich, is going to be held by Albert Walls, number 54. I just want to tell you that real quick as we get going.
And Albert Wall with the fifth man. Robert Mestas controls for the Teddies, who take the tip.
Just like we said earlier, Roosevelt really has to control the tempo of this basketball game. They really can't afford to get into a track meet with the North High Polars. These guys love to run.
And Roosevelt working the ball around the outside, looking for some kind of a gap in the North defense here.
I tell you, it's really surprising to see North High come out in a zone. I really thought that they would come out man-to-man, but I think that's just the respect of the Roosevelt guards they have also.
And Roosevelt being very patient.
I think patience is going to be the key for them tonight. They can't let this game get away from them. It's as simple as that. North High wants to get you in a track meet and never look back.
Mestas controlling, setting up the offense. Roosevelt running a series of passes through, weaving in and out, back and forth.
Are we going to see a 19-20 game tonight?
I don't know. This could look like a Big Ten score by halftime. You never know. As you mentioned earlier, if North doesn't get on a run and Roosevelt can keep the tempo down. Ooh, ball almost stolen there.
Yeah, there's the defense. And I think the other key we talked about, Rich, was the turnovers right there. That was Wilson. And I think that was number 54. That was Albert Wall from North High. Oh.
And a steal by El-Amin. And El-Amin down for his first bucket. That's the first points of the game. 2-0 so far for the Polars. And full court press being applied. Roosevelt gets it across the timeline, okay. And there's that threat that we were talking about, James. Johnny Griffin underneath for his first bucket of the evening, 2-2 here.
Yeah, like Johnny was a transfer from Roosevelt. Chris Rainey, he's starting already.
And Rainey with his first 2 points.
I tell you what, people didn't know the status of Rainey, whether or not he was going to play tonight after he did not show up for the Edison game last week. There was no reason why. Coach Ingram just said it was an internal thing that the team was going to handle. But he's out here tonight, and I think he's needed tonight.
That's good. I definitely.
It's so noisy, man. I can barely hear myself in the mic right now.
This is a rockin' gym, like was mentioned in the roll-in at the beginning of the broadcast. One of the tougher gyms in the Minneapolis City Conference to win in, just because of what they do. And Albert Wall with a quick 2. Nice little dish in there past Wall. Wall just puts it up for a quick deuce. And Griffin, as we mentioned earlier, so far has all Roosevelt's 4 points, and they fed him underneath twice.
I tell you what, we are right now looking at, well, right now 2 Division I players in Mestas and Rainey, but you're looking at some future sophomores in Farrar, Gross, and Jabbar Washington, who's just been on a tear. Possibly other Division I players. And the other kid that works into the mix too, Rich, is Ozzie Lockhart. He's a shooter, sophomore also, so they got a very young team.
And Griffin again underneath, he's fouled. And foul goes against Albert Wall. That will be his first, team's first. Oh, excuse me, and it was
Donnie Groch
who was fouled.
Yeah, like Donnie is a young man. Matter of fact, he has Roosevelt tradition. Tex Witter. He's a player here at Roosevelt a few years ago. Very good player at Roosevelt. He's the cousin of Tex.
Okay. So there is a definite home connection style here. Nice save there by Hannah. Or excuse me, by Griffin. Hannah goes up for the shot and foul called. Foul called on Roosevelt's number 11, Donnie Groch. That'll be his first, team's first. 4 minutes, 39 seconds left in the first quarter. 5-7 at North on top. Rich Smith and James Houston bringing you the Metro Area Sports Wrap Game of the Month. James, so far, a very close game.
Very close game. I'm really surprised once again is to watch North go into that zone. I just knew that they would try to pick up the pressure on Roosevelt, but I guess they're just going to kind of ride their time out.
And Roosevelt seems to be playing sort of a match zone almost.
Right, and that's one of the things Rob Mestas was talking to me about, that they're going to play just a little bit more zone. Of course, like man-to-man is their forte. Look at that shot by the sophomore.
And Lockhart with his first 2 points.
One of the best pure shooters I've seen in a long time.
And taking the ball in is Groch, and he is stopped. Progress coming back the other way. Rainey with a dish to El-Amin. El-Amin can't get it coming off the glass. And Rainey with the rebound, but Roosevelt comes out with it. Mestas bringing it back down, and he'll set things up for the Teds. No, he'll pull up for a 3, and that was short. North recovers. North on the run. And called for a blocking foul. Number 53, Elijah Hanna.
I don't know about that one, Rich. I think
I don't think the crowd liked that one either.
I don't know about that one. He was standing there. He was just standing there waiting for Chris to make his move and everything. But of course, when you're the All-American going to Nebraska, like he'll get a few breaks every now and then,
And the gentleman calling the game this evening, of course, our two refs, Pat Sullivan and Frank White, they'll be out doing the job and making sure that these guys play a good, clean, safe game.
Yeah, they definitely have a veteran staff here tonight as far as reffing the basketball games. I've liked what I've seen so far in the first few minutes of the game because they're letting these guys play and they're not throwing like a lot of ticky-tack fouls at them. Because I tell you, this packed house did not come to see guys like Khalid El-Amin, Rainey, Donnie Groves, Rob Mestas sit on the bench because of foul troubles. And I really like the way the referees are just letting these guys play at the very beginning, as long as it doesn't get out of hand.
And that's the key to the game too. Is the referees? I guess the obvious is just to keep things in, within the bounds of the game. Good taste of the game.
Also want to throw a quick shout out to James Scabella.
Yes, James would be with us this evening doing our sideline reporting, but unfortunately he twisted his ankle. But we do have joining us this evening Jamie Gassaway, and she is a senior at North High School. She'll be doing some sideline reporting and giving us a little insight on the #1 ranked in-state North Polars. Like I say, Roosevelt side would have been represented tonight, but our sideline reporter has been injured. And coming the other way, Mestas. Nice little finger roll. Robert Mestas with his first points in the game.
Don't let me get excited up in here now. Nice move by Rainey coming right back. I tell you what, Rob Mestas shot that three-point play, Rich. He's shooting 48% from the field right now. From the three-point range, shooting close to 60% inside the three-point.
Jabbar Washington with his first bucket of the evening, I believe. Yep, Jabbar Washington. 15 to 10, 2 minutes 20.
Yeah, I like what Rob is doing. He's going to put the pressure on North. He's going to make them play defense. And because I think that's one of the things that a lot of teams don't do. They get so overwhelmed with North's speed and all this, they tend to forget their own game plan. And you have to have a game plan if you're coming in here and you're going to play the #1 team in the state. And you can't afford those turnovers, because you don't get too many second chances.
And especially against the speed of a North team. And once again, the Teddies with a lot of patience here. James showing a lot of patience, looking for the good shot.
Nice pass.
Mestas with a nice little dish off to Hanna there.
And I guess what we'll do toward halftime, Rich, is that we'll just kind of grade these keys that we had at the very beginning of the basketball game and see how the teams are playing with them so far.
Sounds good.
Okay, with Minneapolis City Conference basketball, you can't beat it.
No, you can't. It's the whole package, James. You've got the excitement, you've got the crowd, you've got the quality basketball. It's all here.
And you know what's really scary about this is that North High's JV team, who played right before this team, has a very nice team too. So, I mean, North's cabinets are loaded for the next couple of years.
And that's what's great in the Minneapolis City Conference also, that the feeder teams are becoming more prevalent, and that holy Moses, that had to be NBA range. Rainey, did you see that, James? My word. He was at least 5 feet behind that three-point line. And no bucket. Bucket's waved off. Foul called on the floor.
I tell you what, if anything, Roosevelt is not intimidated tonight. They're going at it. They're really going at it, North High School. And this is what they need to do. They just need to keep the pressure on. Hopefully the crowd be those extra 4 to 6 points that you need as far as to win the ball game. They really need to try to keep it close, though, because it's really hard to play catch-up with a team like North.
Exactly.
Because they're constantly throwing pressure at you.
And Khalid El-Amin whistled for his first foul. And that is 3 team fouls.
Look at Groach. Nice
and Groach getting himself out of a jam there. That's his 3rd point of the evening. Roosevelt within 4 here, 18-14. Just under 20 seconds left in the first quarter of play. And North working it for the last shot. And coming out of the pack is Roosevelt. Groach all on alone. And Groach with his 5th point this evening. Donnie Groach, James. Yeah. Nice little run to the basket there.
Yeah, sophomore. I think you'll hear a lot of good things from the Roosevelt sophomores. I tell you what, this is the battle. This is the battle of Minneapolis right here. They have the top sophomores on both these teams in the city, and you're seeing, man, like a lot of good young talent coming up. We're also looking at Coach Robin Ingram and also John Gray and also Cliff Brown, who are the North High coaches who have done an outstanding job this year. You know, can't get any better than #1, can you?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Thus far, Rich, what do you see? I'm really surprised. Roosevelt is keeping the game close. They're trying to dictate tempo. One of the things that I do like what they're doing is that, you know, like they're trying to time their breaks, and they're doing timely breaks where they feel like they can run the ball. Rob Mestas flat out on the open court cannot be stopped.
No,
you know?
he is incredible, and he twists his body around in ways that seemingly unhuman. You know, he's the old Stretch Armstrong, and he just twists right through it. And no individual has been picked on so far. Scoring in the first quarter, Rainey coming away with 9, El-Amin with 2, Lockhart with 2, Washington with 2, Albert Wall with 2, and on the Roosevelt side, Groach with 5, Mestas with 2, Elijah Hanna with 2, and Johnny Griffin with 4.
And you know, Roosevelt has switched to a man-to-man, which I think may have confused North coming down. I think they had planned out the timeout like to come into a zone offensive play, but they went man-to-man. I thought it was a great move by Coach Henches.
And speaking with Coach Henches last evening, he told me that they were going to mix it up because with this North team, the quickness that they have, it's impossible to play a man-to-man without, wearing your guys completely down by the end of the evening. So I think it was just, a beautiful block there by North's number 52, Albert Green, who has just checked into the game. I believe Albert Wall is taking a breather here.
Yeah, you know what's nice at that 5 position that North High has, they can actually give up about 15 fouls at that position. So, you know, that's a great benefit, especially when you're working with a kid, especially when you're working against a kid like Griffin. You know, so you're going to need all those fouls, you know, and you need to bang them a little bit, you know, and don't be scared to foul them.
That's right. You got to let them know you're there. And shot by Teddy's 35. Kevin Wilson, it comes off. Kevin Wilson, he's one of the Wilson brothers transferred over from North High to play at Roosevelt this year. And Lockhart with a nice little move through traffic. Lockhart with his 2nd bucket of the evening.
As you know, Ozzie Lockhart, he is the son of Osborne Lockhart, who was a former University of Minnesota Gopher great, and who is now the team captain for the Harlem Globetrotters.
And trying to feed it into Griffin there. He couldn't quite get a handle on it, but Mestas is there to clean things up. 18-20, North High leading here. 6 minutes, 20 seconds left in the second quarter of play from Jack Wells Gymnasium. I am Rich Smith along with James Houston, bringing you the play-by-play of this evening's matchup. The North Polars ranked #1 in state, 10-0 in conference play against the Minneapolis Roosevelt Teddies, 9-1 in conference play.
Roosevelt just went into a boxing one, I guess to contain Chris Rainey, and you see what the end result was, 2 points.
And Rainey for his 9-11. Let's take it back to this replay of this block we have here, James, a few plays back.
Yeah, this is outstanding block by Green. Waited for him to fake and just went up after the ball. Great technique.
And all ball also.
Yeah.
That is something something very hard to do when you're down low like that. You got the quick hands moving to try to just focus in on that ball.
That's right, because you have a lot of young men that play the low post game and they try to block shots and they lean into the shooter, and then actually what you should do is just go straight up.
And beautiful passing by the Teddies. Mestas, And he can't get the three-point drop.
Rainey with an outstanding rebound.
Rainey just right over the top. Oh, and fouled on the way up. Oh.
Whoa. I tell you what, are they worth the price of admission or what?
Yes. And whistled for his first foul, Robert Mestas. Team fouls even at 3. And on the receiving end of that one was Albert Wall. He'll step to the line for 2 shots.
If we're doing a real quick mid-half report as far as playing better man-to-man pressure, I think Roosevelt has done that. North has so much athleticism. Man, you can actually play great defense and then turn around and they'll still score on you. You know, and that's really frustrating to a defensive team that works real hard on the defensive end to still have them score on you. After working hard on defense, after a while you start shrugging your shoulders and everything because what else can you do?
Yeah, exactly. And Albert Wall gets both of them.
And they're getting ready to get some of that famous North patented full court pressure. They need to get out that corner though, I'll tell you that. Timeout Roosevelt.
And trap back in the corner. Good timeout called there. Nothing else they could do. And in jeopardy of going over a 10-second count.
Right. And that's exactly what they do. North is so disciplined on that end as far as putting that full court pressure. I think they actually be timing it themselves in their head as far as the 10-second count. And then why foul them then? You know, just make them throw the bad pass or either make the bad play, which exactly is what's going to happen in everything.
And 5 minutes, 17 seconds left here in the second quarter. 22-18, North High on top.
I'm up here looking at the crowd, man. We have an outstanding crowd. I see a lot of old faces that I haven't seen in a while, and it's really good. I haven't been back at Roosevelt for a while, and it's really good to be back here and stuff. I got a lot of hugs, as you know, from some of the ball players as I walked in and everything. I'll tell you what, these kids here it's a joy. I've been watching them for the last couple of years, and to see them grow up as young men, I'll tell you, man, that's been the biggest joy. And to see kids like Chris Rainey, Rob Mestas going now to the next level, you know, I'm all choked up, Chris. Rich, what's your name? I don't know your name.
It's all right, James. I'm a forgettable type sometimes. And
forgettable but not forgotten, Rich.
Thank you. And just to refresh everyone's memory, my name is Rich Smith, along with James Houston, correct?
That's right.
All right,
yeah,
we're on track again, James.
Last time I checked.
All right, that's good. That's good. No aliases then. Okay.
I'll tell you what, I had a great interview with Rob Mestas right before the basketball game, and I'll tell you what, this is a kid that really has his head on tight as far as what he wants in life, as far as what he wants to do. And I just came away, and it doesn't really surprise me because I've been knowing Rob for a few years as far as the type of person that he is and everything. And because you can look at the North High team and you see the guys talking to each other, Mestas and Rainey over there laughing and talking. These guys play with each other all the time, and they know each other real well. That's what makes this game so intense.
Oh, yeah, it's bragging rights, big time, you know.
Oh. A little bit too much jelly there. A little bit too much jelly.
And the Teddies with an opportunity to bring it within 1 or 2 points. The ball is knocked out of bounds, though, and goes back over to North. Bringing things down, Khalid El-Amin. And El-Amin for 3. Again, El-Amin out a good 3 or 4 feet behind that three-point line, James. This North High team is just, they put up 2 incredible bombs this evening so far, and they've just both, nice El-Amin with that quickness. And a quick deuce for Khalid.
Well, I tell you what, there's nothing worse than making a mistake on the offensive end than you get lazy like Wilson did right then and there and didn't even make an attempt to even try to do anything. Oh, Griffin with the dunk.
And Johnny Griffin answering on the other end with a nice little dunk there. Got inside the North defense and went up strong.
Quietly, North High has stretched a little 7-point lead.
And with the body, Roosevelt's number 25, Rob Mestas, called for his second foul. And let's throw it over to Jamie Gasaway and see what she has for us. Jamie, take it away.
Thanks, Rich. Hi, my name is Jamie Gassaway, and I'm a senior at North High School. And today I'm going to tell you about North High's basketball team. Coach Ingram has been an assistant coach for North High for 11 years and head coach for 7 years. The strengths of the team are outside shooting, 3 points, they're leading in the conference, and they're quick because they have 3 guards on the team, and they work together, and they play hard. Back to you, Rich.
Thank you very much, Jamie Gassaway. She'll be joining us periodically through the game. Thank you for that informative insight. And let's take a quick look at the dunk here, James. Talk us through it.
That's right. Like the dunk meter so far is registering at about, let me see again. I had to look at this one more time. That's Griffin on the inside move. It's the drop step. He dunks. He has to get the scream in there. Yeah, okay. Then I give that about an 8.5. That's beautiful. About an 8.5 on the dunk. I like that one.
Beautiful jump by Griffin.
Right now, sitting next to me, they have one of the futures of Roosevelt, Antoine Morris, who played in the JV game earlier today. And, you know, he's going to be making some noise a little bit later on, too. Oh, also, Rich, I just wanted to tell you, Wilson, number 35, if you see another number that says Wilson, don't get confused. It's a twin.
We had mentioned earlier, again, look at this. Rainey with a three-point opportunity from way out long. I mean, North is just, they're not hesitating to pull up from way out.
No call.
And Grouch hits a three. 25-29, Roosevelt creeping back in again within 4, 3 minutes, 26 seconds before halftime. And you are tuned to the Metro Area Sports Wrap Game of the Week. Rich Smith and James Houston bringing it to you from Jack Wells Gymnasium at Roosevelt High School. And just a quick shout out to a few of our sponsors this evening, bringing it to you and making it possible, of course, professional sports linkage, a couple of former Vikings, Jim Marshall and Oscar Reed to be exact. They're running office up there in the Sumner-Olson neighborhood. They're working to build a strong community up there, so stop in and say hello to them. Also by our friends at Club Fed. They're, of course, a human service agency serving North and South Minneapolis with 26 agency members. And it's not hard to see why Club Fed is your connection to the connections. Also by Hands On, an after-school program, a program that challenges young minds to grow through expression and the arts. Also, special support from Bay's Chow Mein, located on Minnehaha Avenue in the South and Roosevelt District. And can you believe they deliver, folks? Yes, a chow mein place that delivers, that's a rare one. So give them a shout, a unique lunch break. Also, the crew's favorite spot to eat, Carboni's Pizzeria on the Parkway. Located on Cedar and the Parkway in South Minneapolis, the Roosevelt South neighborhoods. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Griffin. Griffin with a huge block.
Johnny Griffin.
Oh, there it was, James. And that's why our crew is happily fed, folks, because Carboni's keeps them that way. And a quick one more thank you to all our sponsors for making this possible. And listen to this place, it's just erupted. Griffin with a big block there, James.
Oh, that was an outstanding block by John Griffin. I tell you what, we got the All-Houston team, and then I've been mulling over like a few positions. We're going to have the final cut of the boys All-Houston team coming up at halftime. And hey, I tell you what, I may make some changes by halftime.
I'm looking forward to it, James. 25-32, North High on top. 2 minutes left before halftime here at Jack Wells Gymnasium. And Johnny Griffin with another deuce. And North with 17 fouls, Roosevelt with just 4. Roosevelt with a comfort level in the fouls. And a three-point attempt by Lockhart. Lockhart's shot won't drop, but coming out of the pack with it is Lockhart. Gets it back up to Rainey. Rainey will set things up for the North Polars. El-Amin open for 3. Khalid El-Amin. 12 points for El-Amin so far.
I'll tell you what, man, Chris Rainey is so contained out there. I mean, earlier he was shooting the 3 as far as getting North, as far as the lead. Now he's playing the assist man, and he's trying to dish the ball off to Lockhart. Also, Also dishing the ball to El-Amin. You have 3 very good three-point shooters for North. So you really can't afford to double team any of these guys at all. And that's really scary because all 3 of them on top are outstanding basketball players.
And Griffin with the strong move. Albert Wall whistled for his second. That'll send Griffin to the line.
John Griffin is a kid that came to Minneapolis. I think this is John's 3rd year here. Came from Louisiana. Moved up here from Louisiana. Seen him during the summer, played some summer basketball with me. Had a very good tournament out in Philadelphia until he hurt his ankle. Last year was more of a adjustment period, like for Johnny, because he never really let the ankle heal. And now this year he's healthy and he's really doing his stuff.
And back in for the Polars, Albert Green. Albert Wall will sit, and also checking in number 50, Henry Smith. And he will give Ozzie Lockhart, excuse me, is that Lockhart?
Yeah, that is Lockhart.
A chance to breathe.
Right.
They'll give him a breather. And checking in on the Roosevelt side is Roosevelt's number 33, Antone Farrar. Excuse me? Ariane Farrar. I'm glad you're with me.
That's why
James.
I'm here, man.
I'm glad you're with me.
Because we make each other good.
That's right, exactly. Thank you, thank you. And with your knowledge of these players and insight that you give, it's incredible what we can do for the Metro Area Sports Wrap Game of the Month. And looks like North will hold for the last shot of the half. Up by 6 points right now, 35-29 with 30 seconds left before halftime. And James, we have an exciting halftime show coming up.
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming up. We're going to talk about the keys that we talked about at the beginning of the game. We're also going to talk about the All-Houston team. And please, before people start getting irate and everything, the All-Houston team is based on a whole different type of criteria. You know, talking about heart, we're talking about determination. Got to have style points, and you have to be able to nip and tuck your shirt. You know, everybody has to be able to do that. And then you'll find everybody on the All-Houston team has their own type of flavor as far as nip and tucking, as far as the shirt and the pants. And you also got to be able to wipe your shoes down 2 or 3 times from behind with your mouth. And, you know, it's just little things you do. You know, put the dirt in your mouth and the whole thing.
And almost ending the quarter with a 3 there was Khalid El-Amin at halftime. North 35, Roosevelt 29. James, your impressions of the first half?
A very good first half. I think Roosevelt did some of the things that they wanted to do. They want to try to control tempo. They did that. They wanted to make sure that North High did not get out there as a track meet and everything. I think one of the most important things that Roosevelt did was that they handled 2 or 3 waves that North High had threw at them. Now, you know what? If you can handle those waves and you come out and you're only losing by 6 points on your own home court, I think you're doing a real good job. I think Roosevelt has played well this half. I think North High has played well, but the thing about it is that home court advantage, how much will it make a difference?
All right, let's send her to a break here. Rich Smith and James Houston, Metro Area Sports Wrap Game of the Month. We'll be right back.
He ran the Boys and Girls Club where I grew up. Now I know today is different. Young people face problems I never even had to think about. But that's why now we need the Boys and Girls Club. It's a positive place where thousands of people like Billy Thomas help young people succeed. Does it work? It did for me. Yay! Support the Boys and Girls Clubs.
We're talking to Ed Krakowski, athletic director of the Minneapolis City Conference. How you doing today, Ed?
Fine, James. Nice to see you again.
Man, Shoes game has been everything that everybody has been talking about.
I just made the comment, if anybody isn't having fun tonight, they're not telling the truth.
A City Conference basketball, do you find yourself surprised that Minneapolis Roosevelt isn't ranked also in the state?
Well, rankings are something that's really left up to everybody else. We have excellent basketball in Minneapolis. Roosevelt is a very good basketball team.
How about the future of the City Conference as far as how do you see it? It's a lot of outstanding young men that are playing that are freshmen and sophomores. It's like the City Conference is going to get better and better and better.
Well, I think that's what's happening. It's been happening all the way along. If the people in the suburbs could have a chance to come in here, they'd really enjoy this. Great. It's an excellent form of basketball. We have great people, and it's a great show.
Okay. 5 AA regions is coming up Do you have the dates on those?
No, I'm sorry. I don't have them with me right now.
Okay, then. Thanks a lot for talking with us.
Okay, James.
I know you're real busy right now. You're trying to get back to the game and everything.
Thank you.
All right, then.
MASW says, how much do you care about high school sports? Take this opportunity to write down this number and purchase this and other high school game tapes. If you want to keep high school sports on cable TV, this is a must. All proceeds from tape sales will allow us to increase coverage of high school sports. Prove you care and show your support for MASW. It's in your hands. After all, you wouldn't want to miss this, would you?
And remember, MASW tapes, they are necessary for us to continue to work hard for your athletes at home. Help us to televise more events. Give us a shout out at 660-0319 for further information. Rich Smith and James Houston here at Jack Wells Gymnasium at Roosevelt High School. Ready to start the third quarter with North High on top 35-29. James, let's have a little look at what's up and coming here in the second half. What do the Teddies need to do to stay into this one? What does North need to do to shut the door?
Well, I think Roosevelt needs to do the same thing they've been doing. They have been trying to control the tempo. One of the things that North High has not been able to do is to run away from Roosevelt. When they did run away a couple of times, Roosevelt came back in the waves. And we keep talking about waves, we keep talking about waves. And that's how North High comes at you, man. And they score a lot of points real quick. And North High has not been able to do that and then run away. You know what I'm saying? And Roosevelt has responded each time that they have thrown a wave at them and everything. I'm expecting an outstanding second half. It's only a 6-point lead by North. Roosevelt's at home, and they look pretty confident,
Very confident.
And they're not intimidated at all by playing like the #1 team in the state.
And so far, I believe both teams have pretty much kept in their game plan. Even what we had outlined at the beginning of the broadcast, just to touch on that quickly.
Yeah, I think the few surprises that I've seen early in the game was to see North come into that zone. I think that really surprised me right there, because when they went man-to-man, everything went well for them and everything. I mean, they generate their offense and their crowd off their defense.
And opening things up here, Roosevelt has the ball. Mestas has control, and he sets things up. Groach up top, and Roosevelt will work the ball around. Also, we'll be looking forward to hearing from Jamie Gassaway again during the second half of play here, James.
Yeah, I like the interview that Jamie had. I had with Ed Prokowski at halftime, talking about the state of the city conference. I tell you what, things are really looking rosy in the city conference.
And with a man like Ed at the helm, we definitely, it's a plus. The Minneapolis athletic department has definitely got a good leader at the helm.
I tell you what, I just seen him talking to a couple of athletes. Now, this is an athletic director that not only gets involved with the schools, he gets involved with the kids and everything. He knows most of these kids by name, and it's really surprising as we do an interview, and you see high school ball players come by saying, hi, Ed, and because I think that's really a tribute to him and the type of job that he does for the city conference.
And the Teddies can't convert on that one. Coming back the other way with the ball, the North High Polars into Lockhart. Lockhart with a little too, and sneaking down the lane there was Albert Green. And Green opens the scoring up in the second half here for the Polars.
I tell you what, that Jabbar Washington, he had the shot that he wanted, but he just didn't convert. But you won't see that too often as far as Washington. He's a big-time scorer for North. Only a sophomore.
And Groach with a three-point opportunity. That one comes off the iron back. Down the other way with the Polars. And El-Amin to set things up. Wait, again, he pulls up, and his three-point opportunity is off. Griffin with the rebound. Mestas sets, hits Groach on the run. And attempt foiled by Rainey. Rainey getting there quickly on the defensive end, James.
I tell you what, Chris is getting ready for that defensive back position at University of Nebraska, man. Quick hands. I tell you what, it's going to be a joy to be able to watch him play football. He has all the tools to be a defensive player. He has the attitude, and he has that kind of grumph about himself. My goodness. I actually missed that shot. I think that was Jabbar Washington with a three.
El-Amin with another deuce.
I'll tell you what, man, Khalid is so strong that, you know, he's not the type of kid, even though his size, that you look at him and then, like, you really think that you might be able to bully him, but you really can't bully him. He actually tries to do the bullying himself.
And Rainey with the quick steal there and a nice little pass behind him to El-Amin. And El-Amin's three-point opportunity goes off. Mestas kicks it outside. Little 8-footer comes off the iron and North the other way. Oh, Rainey can't quite keep his hands on it. Teddy's recover and they'll bring the ball back down. 4 minutes, 50 seconds left here in the third quarter at Jack Wells Gymnasium. 39-32, North on top. Teddy's taking a timeout here, and while we have a second, I'd like to send a shout out to some of the folks that helped us. And quickly, let's send it over to Jamie Gasaway. Jamie, are you ready? Take her away.
Thanks, Rich. Jabbar Washington is one of the youngest players on the team, and he's only been playing for about 5 years. He's played on other teams such as AAU and South JV and varsity last year. He thinks that JV and varsity are different because in varsity, on the varsity team, you work harder and you play harder. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you, and thank you, Jamie, once again, another informative interview. James, she has got a future in the field, I believe.
I tell you what, she has got me excited. I mean, I've learned I've learned some things today from Jamie that, you know, great sideline report.
Well, it's insight that you wouldn't normally get, you know. I believe it's insight with a personal touch.
And then, you know what, only at Metro Area Sports Rep with somebody like Ryan give an opportunity to a young high schooler that wants to get involved with broadcasting. Broadcasting, that's a new word I just made up right there.
Thank you.
Broadcasting. And, you know, and it's really nice to see, and we hope that we get more and more young kids that want to get involved with the broadcast.
And fed into Griffin from Hannah. And Griffin with his 10th point. 34-39, North on top. And Roosevelt gets the ball back. Mestas will set things up with Groach up top. To the corner to Hannah. Hannah drives. Kick back outside. Wilson's shot is off. But there to clean up the boards was Griffin, I believe.
Yeah.
Was that Johnny Griffin on that?
That was Griffin that cleaned up the boards, but that was Donnie Gross with the 2 points.
It was Gross with the 2 points. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Donnie. And that was Donnie's 10th point of the game also. A couple of the Roosevelt players in double figures.
I tell you what, Ozzie Lockhart has not had a good shooting night at all.
And Roosevelt here with an opportunity within 3 with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third quarter of play.
Tempo once again.
And Hannah taking it to the hole.
And you talk about the charge expert, that's Jabbar Washington. I know when he played on my 8th grade basketball teams, we used to give out sodas for charges, man. I was giving this guy cases.
And well deserved. Polars controlling the ball. Rainey up top, he'll set up the offense and get things in the swing again. Rainey pulls up from way outside the three-point line. Oh, good block. Ball still in the air and coming down with it, Roosevelt's Elijah Hannah.
Did you see Griffin go up for that block? That
whistled for the foul there, I believe, Ozzie Lockhart.
Check that. They're going to put that foul on Jabbar Washington.
Okay, that's Washington then. And for Washington, I believe that is his first. Team's first of the second half. And while we have a second, I'd like to send a shout out to our 2 refs this evening. Once again, doing an excellent job. Pat Sullivan, Frank White, the janitorial staff here at Roosevelt High School, head janitor Steve Cameron, and his helper John Kraus. A couple of gentlemen that definitely have kept us on our toes and kept us in what we need. Also, education assistant Tom Wassman running the scoreboard along with Steve Smith. Those 2 gentlemen taking care of making sure the score is correct. And Johnny Griffin, again, 12 points on the evening for Griffin, James.
And you know what, all of a sudden you see that look on North High's face North High has not been challenged that much this year, and it's interesting to see what they're going to do as far as being challenged and everything.
And
yeah, that's right. Griffin has just took the ball to Jabbar Washington every time he's had opportunity as far as to get the basketball.
And they have, they're within 1 point. Roosevelt, it's 39-38 at this point. North with just a 1 point lead and taking the timeout. Like you said, they got the look in their eye. They needed to take a second and get a breather, collect their thoughts.
Because, as you know,
and while we have an opportunity, James, why don't you enlighten us on the All-Houston team? I know the folks, we didn't get to it at halftime, and I know the folks have been waiting with bated breath. Why don't you give us a shout? There's our first team.
Bated breath. This is the first team, real nice team. Dante Johnson at Edison. He's had a real good season. He's a junior. Jason Collins at Washburn. Washburn has struggled this year. Really a down season for him, but Jason has had an outstanding season. Marcus Brown, that's the big kid over at South High School. This kid, outstanding inside rebounder, inside play, dunk artist. At the guard position, Robert Mestas,
who we are seeing tonight.
Who we're seeing today. And the other guard on the first team, All-Houston team, is Chris Rainey,
who we are
Nebraska
also
bound
seeing tonight.
Okay, second team consists of 3 sophomores. You got Jabbar Washington at North. You got forward Calvin Hill over at Henry. You got center John Mahal, who's had an outstanding season for Southwest. Khalid El-Amin at North, by no means second team on this team, number 1 in a lot of people's hearts. And the final selection is the guard, Ozzie Lockhart from North. So North High has four basketball players representing the all-Metro team. And our coach of the year, of course, you got to have a coach, man, that can handle this team. Our coach of the year for North is from North High, Coach Robin Ingram.
Yes, he's done an outstanding job with the North squad. An outstanding job. And there it is, folks, what you've all been waiting for, the All-Houston team, James.
And congratulations to all these guys.
Yes,
man.
a big congratulations and a big shout out to you all. Continue on with the faith. Keep the Minneapolis City Conference faith in.
Yes. We're looking at a 1-point ball game, and things are starting to tighten up a little bit.
And nice.
Roosevelt is playing real good defense right now. I didn't mean to step on you there, but I just love that defense.
Not a problem. It wasn't. That's what I was just going to comment on myself. A nice defensive play there by Griffin. So he's getting a little touch on both ends.
There goes Coach of the Year right there, Robin Ingram. I tell you what, he's had a lot of pressure on him. I think he has the same pressure, man, that Coach Lewis Boone had on him last year. They're just expected to win.
And a couple of North players go down hard. Lockhart and Roosevelt takes the first lead of the game with 1 minute and 40 seconds left here in the third quarter, 40-39. The Teddies have crawled back into this one, James.
And I tell you what, I think this is the first time since Duluth East that North has ever trailed in a basketball game this year. So we're going to find out what type of heart these number 1 North Polars have.
So it's a new feeling here.
It's a new feeling.
And coming right back and answering.
Big basket for North. North needed that basket.
Albert Wall. And Wall has 5 points in the game unofficially.
I'll tell you what, if someone would have told me with about 1:05 left in the third that North High has only scored 6 points in the third quarter, I'd have said, yeah, man, you're joking. But you also look on the other side, Roosevelt has only scored 7 points. We're seeing some real good defense out here today. Traps in the corner. Those are almost automatic.
And fed into Lockhart. Lockhart goes up strong. Ozzie Lockhart for a quick deuce.
That's 2 points by, that's Jabbar Washington, Rich.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, number 44.
Ah, my fault, folks. I believe I have been calling him Ozzie Lockhart. I will get it. I was
trying to be subtle at first,
no, James,
but I guess I just
James,
had to
you gotta give me a boot in the shin, and I will get it together here. And I apologize, gentlemen.
Whoa. I think Jabbar Washington actually got away with a foul that time. Westbury with a terrible play.
Nice steal, though.
Westbury had a 3-on-2. He had a situation fast break, did not take advantage of it. Got a little selfish and tried to take the ball up himself. Turnover. All of a sudden, you see North kind of tight right now.
Yep. They don't seem as relaxed as they did in the first half. 43-40 with winding down last 5 seconds of the third quarter. Griffin's shot comes off. Washington controls, and that'll end the third quarter with the score. North High Polars 43, the Roosevelt Teddies 40. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the MASW Game of the Month.
MASW says, how much do you care about high school sports? Take this opportunity to write down this number and purchase this and other high school game tapes. If you want to keep high school sports on cable TV, this is a must. All proceeds from tape sales will allow us to increase coverage of high school sports. Prove you care and show your support for MASW. It's in your hands. After all, you wouldn't want to miss this, would you?
And ladies and gentlemen, Professional Sports Linkage presents a jazz party at the Ragin' Cajun. This one's going to be going on March 22nd. It's a non-profit fundraiser for Professional Sports Linkage, featuring the Hall Brothers Jazz Band, along with jazz playing friends joining in on a band session. Hors d'oeuvres and a cash bar included. So folks, get out to that one at the Ragin' Cajun, March 22nd. Professional Sports Linkage, little jazz party. Back to action here. Start of the fourth quarter, 43-40, North High on top. And Robert Mestas called for a foul. James, I don't think he liked that call.
Yeah, I tell you what, Chris Rainey smiled when he seen that referee blow the whistle, because he knew that he had got away with it right there. But you know what? Take those. You have to take those right there.
Oh yeah. Third on Mestas, second team foul. And at the line, Chris Rainey, he'll shoot two. And the first one rolls around and bounces out. He'll set up for his second one.
I tell you, this is the first time I've seen North High with that worried look on their face. I think things have come so easy for them this year that, you know, this is a great test for them. All great champions go through this, you know, go through the one-point draw games and everything, and you have to see what you're made of. You can see what you're made of. But I tell you what, people do not discount Roosevelt. They're only one game behind North High, and then they can actually tie for the city conference with a win tonight.
I was going to say that a win by Roosevelt tonight would even their conference records. And trying to get it inside to Griffin, things don't quite pop. They get it back outside, and they'll set it up with Groach and Mestas up top.
You know, even though it's going to be a tied record for the city conference, for the city championship game, it would still be North High, just due to the fact that Roosevelt played in the city championship last year.
And El-Amin's three-pointer comes off. Mestas recovers, and they'll bring it back over the half-court line and set up the Roosevelt defense. And Hannah's three-point attempt is off.
Oh, my goodness, no call.
Coming down with the rebound was Robert Mestas in the crowd, and traveling's called. The ball will reverse the other way.
I'll tell you what, if you want to throw the word consistent out as far as this ball game, I hope you can hear me right now, because I can't even hear myself right now.
And Hannah with 34.5% from the three-point line, shooting so far through the season. (44-40), North on top, and they'll turn the ball over back to the Teddies.
So I'm really surprised. You know, one of the things that I haven't seen is Arian Farrar that much. He's a sophomore that had been playing quite a few minutes for Roosevelt, but you don't really see him in the rotation tonight. And I really thought that they could use his help, but who am I to say? Coach Henches has been doing this for a long time.
And speaking with Coach Henches last night, he speaks very highly of Farrar as a banger underneath. He's got a big body, big board player. And Hannah, another attempt for a three-pointer. That one comes off. Coach Henches and the squad a little bit frustrated over here, I think, right at this point. But they are hanging in. They're here. They are here. They're right on the doorstep, James, within 4 points. 6 minutes, 6 minutes, 6 seconds left. A lot of basketball still.
And I tell you what, you can tell by the way Roosevelt is playing, they're not worried about any type of moral victories at all. They want to win this basketball game.
And El-Amin's shot comes off. Groch with the recovery. He'll get it back to Hannah, who will get it to Mestas to bring it over the half-court line and set up the Roosevelt offense. Mestas makes his move to the hole. He's fouled en route. And whistled for the foul is number 24, Ozzie Lockhart. Lockhart's second, team's fourth.
Take a look at Coach Henry's over there calling some plays right now. And also Rob Mestas taking the ball out. I think what they need to do is maybe bang it back more to the inside. El-Amin with a steal.
And Khalid with a quick deuce. Khalid unofficially with 13 points at this point. 46-40, North on top.
I think this is one of those weathering the storms that Roosevelt needs to do right now. North has came down the last couple of times, and they've been able to score off their defense, which I think is real important. Roosevelt really needs a basket coming down right now.
And whistled for a second, Jabbar Washington. He got Mestas with the body. Team's fifth. Washington's second. Roosevelt inbounds the ball. Wilson, the brother Kevin Wilson, Kenny's brother, Kevin, controlling the ball at this point. North transfer the Wilson brothers from North to Roosevelt this year. And James, Roosevelt working it around patiently again, looking for that open shot.
Yeah, they're going back to the same tactics they had in the first half. He's working the ball real patient, and he's looking for the open shot. It's a dangerous pass right there.
And Groch with the three-point opportunity, rebounded by Albert Wall. North will bring it back down. 6-point lead now, 4 minutes 34 seconds left in the fourth quarter. James, this has been an exciting game.
Yes, it has. I tell you what, I've been very impressed with the way Roosevelt has not been intimidated. I've been very impressed as far as how North handled the pressure of being behind for the first time this year, and how they came back out and they established, their superiority out there. I mean, I've been really impressed with both teams. I tell you, 5AA region is going to be an outstanding tournament this year.
And Lockhart whistled for that foul. That'll be the team's sixth. Lockhart unofficially with 3 fouls, 4 points at this point. Roosevelt controls with Groch up top. Into Griffin. Oh, Griffin's pass is blocked there. Rainey right there with the quick hands to take things away. And Mestas with the ball coming back the other way. Robert Mestas with a quick 2-pointer.
I tell you what, you have to wonder, Rich, when does fatigue start setting in? I don't think Rainey or Khalid has been off the floor. Same with Rob. I don't think Rob's been off the floor either. So,
and I think with this kind of a game too, James, the intensity level is so high that these guys aren't going to feel it until after they actually sit down and have a chance to relax. I
don't think these guys want to get off the floor right now.
I don't think so either. The intensity level is just incredible here. And we have a Roosevelt player hurt. Is that a light? No, it isn't Hannah. It could be Griffin.
That is Griffin.
That's bad news for the Teddies.
And I tell you what, John Griffin has been having knee problems the last few years. He's also had ankle problems also. Let's just hope that it's something not too serious.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you of another event that we have coming up here soon. Hands On presents Tunisian Nights, a cultural fashion show. That'll be going on March 9th, 16th, 23rd, and April 2nd. For additional information, give them a call at 381-2302. That's the Hands On Tunisian Nights, a cultural fashion show. More information on that, 381-2302. That'll be an exciting one, James.
Yes, it will. It'll be very exciting.
And Hands On, another one of our great sponsors. I'd like to give them a shout out. And of course, Hands On encompassing a program challenging young active minds to grow through expression and the arts. And still helping, still down on the court, Johnny Griffin. And let's throw it to a break, James. We'll be right back at Jack Wells Gymnasium with the MASW Game of the Month.
Today, more than ever, young people need a positive influence. They'll find it at the Boys and Girls Clubs, the positive place for kids.
And helping Johnny Griffin off is one of the trainers. He is walking off on his own power, which is good news for the Teddies. Of course, you are tuned to the Metro Area Sports Wrap Game of the Month with the North High Polars ranked #1 in the state of Minnesota versus the Roosevelt Teddies, 9-1 in the conference. At this point, with 3 minutes, 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter, North on top, 46-42. The Teddies with the ball, Mestas controlling, and whistled for a foul. Number 12 for the Polars, Chris Rainey.
And also, Thailand Ward is the gentleman that's taking the place of John Griffin right now. They have Griffin on the floor, and they're still flexing. I'm trying to see if it's an ankle or like if it's a knee.
Looks like they're ice packing. Looks like they're packing the knee, James.
Oh, I don't like to see that sign.
That's not good at all. And Mestas with his first.
Usually when you see ice, usually the kid is gone for the day.
Yeah.
With about 3:18, I tell you what, they could really use him out there right now.
They really could, and Griffin has played an outstanding game. To have to hit the bench on that note. 2 for 12 points so far, and he unofficially was completely foul-less. I don't know if that is a word, James, but no fouls whistled against Griffin. Good play underneath, good solid play.
But I tell you what, I look at that two ways too when you don't have any fouls on your big man, is that, you know, is he being aggressive enough? I can say yes and no on both counts because Johnny has some real nice block shots. I think he's a real composed defensive player. So when you look at that, no fouls, man, that crossover dribble by Chris Rainey was something else.
And the bucket will count, and he'll get the foul, an opportunity to step to the line for a three-pointer.
And the famous words they use, and one.
And whistled for that one, Roosevelt's number 33. Arian Farrar. Did I get it right this time, James?
Yes, you did.
Good, thank you. I need that thing. And he whistled for his first, team's third. And Griffin returns to the game, James.
That's good news. Still kind of limping a little bit, though. But I tell you what, they really need him if they're going to try to make any type of run in.
Thailand Ward with a good little run there to give Griffin the opportunity to rest that knee and get back out there. And Rainey completing the three-point play there. And Rainey unofficially with 15 points at this time.
I'll tell you what, Chris he had an outstanding first half. Second half, he's been a little quiet, though. He's only had 5 points in the second half.
We have 2 minutes, 25 seconds left here at Jack Wells Gymnasium. Hannah for three. He can't get it to top. And Griffin, seemingly unaffected with that knee, gets up there. Rainey comes in and cleans things up for the Polars.
They have to convert on those second shots. You're not going to get too many chances. If you get a second chance to go up, you have to make the basket.
And 49-44, 2 minutes left in the contest here at Jack Wells Gymnasium. Roosevelt High School in South Minneapolis. Metro Area Sports Wrap Game of the Month. North High Polars, Roosevelt Teddies. And Rich Smith joined along with James Houston this evening. James, a barn burner so far.
Oh, yeah, so far. Right now, the way it looks also, too, because, you know, we have a couple of got an offensive charge on Ozzie Lockhart. But you know what, as I was trying to say, we also have a scoring title at state tonight for the City Conference scoring title. Rob Mestas, which is leading the league with a 23.0 clip against Khalid El-Amin, who's leading with a 22 clip. They also have Rob at a 22.9. They have Khalid at a 21.9. Khalid would need to score 49 points more than Rob to be able to take the title tonight. So I think we're looking at the scoring champ and also like the runner-up right here tonight.
Right here, exactly. and two very good guards for both teams. A couple of guys that run the floor both ways.
And it's interesting that it goes back to the guard play because last year all the top scorers were the post players. But you know, I think the City Conference is the year to guards for the next couple years. You're going to see a lot of Big Ten coaches at these kids' doorsteps right now because we have some outstanding Division I guards out here right now. When you talk about El-Amin, you talk about Lockhart, you talk about Gross over on the other side. I tell you what, loaded with talent.
All right, let's take a look at Chris Rainey in action here, James. Here he is.
God given.
Very close one.
Oh, right inside.
And Albert Wall with the quick hands coming up with the ball there for North. Rainey gets it over to El-Amin, who will bring it over the half-court line. Mestas trailing him the whole way, and Robert whistled for a foul there.
And I think what's going to happen is that you're going to see North High go into their patented stall game with 3 outstanding guards on top and Lockhart, so they're throwing up the triangle, which is the sign for the put the ball on ice.
Yeah, exactly.
Move. And you got 3 outstanding dribblers with Lockhart, El-Amin, and also Rainey on top. So North High is going to be careful who Roosevelt has to be careful about who they're going to foul, as I'm just going to talk about that right now.
And Groch following Rainey. Groch is second, team's 5th. And Roosevelt still has a couple more to give here.
I tell you what, I really don't like that foul out on top because there's nothing that ball player can do to you way out on top like that. I think Groch just played good defense on him. He stayed in front of him and then made his move as he got into the front court. But fouling somebody out past the other side of the court doesn't do your team any good.
James, I didn't quite understand what happened there. I believe they were whistled for an over and back.
Over and back, yeah.
I myself didn't see it, but I'm not in the striped shirt either, so all sales are final when it comes to the refs. Roosevelt controlling the ball. Mestas in the corner for 3. And his 3. Oh, and who was there to clean the boards up?
I think that was either Gross or Wilson.
It was Wilson, I believe.
And that's one of the twins.
Kevin Wilson with the nice up. And the North High Polars will take a timeout here. (49-46), James. It's a 3-point game. 49 seconds left here. This is like they say on the crazy commercials, we'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
All you need is the edge.
And that's all you need here tonight, boy, the edge. And let's take a look at Chris Rainey in action.
Once again, he's so quick. I mean, it just happens.
I think things are just flying by us tonight, James. Anyways, folks, we will get to that shot at Chris Rainey here.
And once again, Rich, I want to just announce that All Houston team, the Metro Area Sports Rep All Houston team, 1995 team. Guards, Robert Mestas, Chris Rainey, center Marcus Brown from South, forwards Jason Collins of Washburn, and Dante Johnson of Edison. And congratulations to these young men. They have had outstanding seasons in the Minneapolis City Conference.
And that was, of course, All Houston first team.
You got Chris Rainey looking at himself in the monitor and everything. Tell you what, Rich, man, this exciting game here. How can I see it again?
This is a very exciting game. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that Metro Area Sports App, to bring you our continuing coverage, we have a tape program available. You're looking for MASW archive stuff, you give us a call at 660-0319. These tape sales are necessary for us to continue to work hard for your athletes at home, so help us to continue televising more events. Give us a shout, 660-0319. We'll give you all the information you need. Back to action here, 39 seconds left in the contest. 49-46, North on top, and right now just keeping the ball outside and out of Roosevelt's hands.
I tell you what, if John Griffin would have been guarding his man on that last sequence of plays right there, he probably would have had a steal going as far as going back the other way as far as for a dunk. What he did was he sat back in the lane, and right now, and you're losing by 3 points, you can't afford to back off anybody. You have to play tight man-to-man defense, and I think that was really a defensive breakdown on Griffin right there.
And at the line is Rainey. He'll shoot to deuce. The first one is good. He gets the front end. 17 fouls both ways, both teams in the bonus, James.
I tell you what, though, Some people may call it arrogant. Some people may call it cocky. I don't call it none of that. I think these guys are just extremely confident of their abilities. And then I think they believe in each other as a team. I'm talking about North High School, you know, and I've been very impressed seeing them down and come back to be able to take the
Take this opportunity to write down this number and purchase this and other high school game tapes. If you want to keep high school sports on cable TV, this is a must. All proceeds from tape sales will allow us to increase coverage of high school sports. Prove you care and show your support for MASW. It's in your hands. After all, you wouldn't want to miss this, would you?
Left here at Jack Wells Gymnasium. James 51-46. The Polars ahead, and at the break, Frank Henches and Dennis Stockwell, the two coaches over at the Roosevelt helm, getting their troops prepared for that. I also heard Coach Henches yell, "We don't need the three. We have 2 possessions here." So they are counting on some good tight D, and also they're not gonna rush that 3, James.
Yeah, I think anybody that plays North is going to have that same problem at the end when North High has that lead. They have great guards that not only can handle the ball, but they can shoot free throws, you know, so they can afford to try to foul these guys.
And called for the blocking foul. Kevon Westbury. It looks like unofficially that's Westbury's first, and both teams in the bonus, so that will send Robert Mestas to the line. And James, if we could, you know, one more time hear what's happening, or excuse me, see what's happening out here. Mestas at the line, 51-47, 25 seconds left.
Yeah, I tell you what, Roosevelt needs everything and anything that they can get right now. And they have the right person on the line right there. I tell you, Rob Mestas is going to make those free throws. Right now and stuff, Roosevelt needs to play real good defense, and they need to foul as soon as possible. And basically just hope that North High misses some free throws. See, right then and there, they should have kept the foul.
Oh, and Griffin El-Amin taking it to the hole, and Griffin getting up high, but Griffin whistled on that one, James. I believe he got him with the body.
I'll tell you what, man, that was another breakdown on defense. You had Albert Wall getting the inbounds pass, and the foul should have been done right then and there, because that's the person that you want to go to the line. You do not want Khalid, you do not want Ozzy, you do not want Jabbar or Chris going to the line. And the one person you had opportunity as far as taking to the line, he had the ball in his hand, and you let him get rid of the basketball. Just another defensive breakdown as far as by Roosevelt, and that's really too bad. And but it's still only a 3-point ball game.
Khalid El-Amin at the line. He hits the front end of the 1-and-1.
He begged for that one.
Got a little bouncy.
Yeah, he begged for that one there.
And lane violation.
Oh,
on North.
Critical. I think North High coming up with the pressure now. Putting the balls in the wrong hands. That's the hands you want them in right there. Donnie Groach.
Groach brings this to 1 within 2.
It's a 2-point ball game, Ridge.
And James, I'm telling you, we just like we expected, Minneapolis City Conference basketball, best in the state.
And I hate to use the old cliche, on any given day.
And let's take a quick break. Let's check a PSA here, folks, and we'll be right back with action at Roosevelt's Jack Wells Gymnasium. Stay tuned.
Me being from Minnesota and stuff like that, I think it gives you a little incentive to know that, wait, hey, this guy here from Minnesota made it, why can't I? And, you know, I was talented when I was in grade school, junior high, high school. I could play the game of baseball, and I could play a few other sports, but you just have to have common sense and go out there and work hard and try to have as much fun as you can. That's one thing I stress a lot, is to have fun when you're out there playing, because when I'm out here in the field, I like to have a good time.
And back here at Jack Wells Gymnasium, Rich Smith and James Houston bringing you the Metro Area Sports Wrap Game of the Month. 13 seconds left, James. Roosevelt within 2 points of the Polars. It's 52-50. The Polars will inbound the ball, and Roosevelt is intent on the press and hopefully the win.
Yeah, this has been a very good basketball game. I'll tell you what, both teams have played in waves. Both teams have been able to handle each other's waves. I'll tell you what, maybe a third time is a charm for AA region.
This could be. And like I say, 13 seconds left in the contest here. And North will inbound the ball. And trapped in the corner, Khalid El-Amin. And whistled for the foul in the corner there, number 55, Johnny Griffin. And unofficially, Griffin's second. And only 3 ticks of the clock went off on that one, James.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I really thought that Roosevelt would leave open Walls or Green, whoever's out there right now, as far as their big man, and let them get the ball. And then as far as trying to foul, North guards have been able to get the ball on the inbound. Foul either one of them. Either trio, or the noise.
And here it is, James. Ooh, and El-Amin under the pressure. And he's letting them, sitting them down. Sit down, he says. And the Roosevelt faithful going crazy on this side, the North faithful on the other side equally as wild. This is just, it's coming down to the wire, James. 3-point game here, 10 seconds, 53-50. El-Amin's second shot is good. 54-50.
Oh my goodness. I think that's going to just about do it right there, Rich. Charge called on Donnie Gross. Chris Rainey was sitting there. He set him up. That was a senior move right there by Chris Rainey. He knew that Donnie was going to try to rush across real quick. He let Donnie get the ball and just stepped. All Donnie did was turn and step, gave him the one step, and gave him the one step and everything, and then boom, charging call right there. And North High will retain their #1 spot.
And we're going to take a quick break here. 54-50, 9 seconds left in the contest. We'll be right back.
MASW says, how much do you care about high school sports? Take this opportunity to write down this number and purchase this and other high school game tapes. If you want to keep high school sports on cable TV, this is a must. All proceeds from tape sales will allow us to increase coverage of high school sports. Prove you care and show your support for MASW. It's in your hands. After all, you wouldn't want to miss this, would you?
Gymnasium, Rich Smith and James Houston. And folks, remember that the MASW tapes are necessary for us to continue working hard for your athletes at home. So please help us to televise more events. One more time, the number is 660-0319. Back to action here at Jack Wells Gymnasium. James, we have 9 seconds left. North High on top, 54-50. The stands are starting to empty out a little bit here.
Yeah, I think the crowd feels like that last play where Rainey drew the charge. Excuse me, I got a new set of lips here today.
Not a problem.
Where Rainey drew the charge right there. I think they felt like that was the game breaker right there. I tell you, 9 seconds is still a lot of time. And we have to foul quickly.
Roosevelt with the super tight D here.
Right. Once again, you didn't.
Oh. Oh, and Mestas gets it to drop right at the buzzer, but it won't be enough, James. 52-54 here, the final scores. The Roosevelt Teddies almost took one.
Yeah, they almost
took the North High
it.
Polars.
Man, I got to tell you what, that really shows the type of character and everything that North High has. They came in here, they had a hostile crowd. Roosevelt was waiting for them to come in here, and I tell you what, it was every bit of it was every bit of a ball game that we expected.
And the final score, North High 54, the Roosevelt Teddies 52. This was the Metro Area Sports Wrap Game of the Month. And folks, stay tuned for more interesting and insightful things. Also on the horizon, folks, I can feel it. The show, Metro Area Sports Wrap, will be on the return. We don't know when, we don't know where, but keep an eye peeled for us. Rich Smith along with James Houston wanting to thank you for tuning in to our broadcast this evening. James, any closing comments? We'll throw it to a break real quick and we'll come back with our closing comments.
MASW says, how much do you care about high school sports? Take this opportunity to write down this number and purchase this and other high school game tapes. If you want to keep high school sports on cable TV, this is a must. All proceeds from tape sales will allow us to increase coverage of high school sports. Prove you care and show your support for MASW. It's in your hands. After all, you wouldn't want to miss this, would you?
Welcome back to Jack Wells Gymnasium. Rich Smith and James Houston. James, quickly your closing impressions of the game.
I tell you what, man, like the guard play of Khalid El-Amin, Chris Rainey, and, you know, even Ozzie Lockhart on the defensive end. He kind of struggled a little bit offensively, but he had a very good game. Our player of the games, we need to throw our player of the games out for Roosevelt side. First, let's throw the Roosevelt side. I know it's easy to go with Rob Mestas, but I tell you what, I like to go with Donnie Gross. I think Donnie Gross, the sophomore, had an outstanding basketball game. I think he really helped Roosevelt almost win this basketball game.
I myself would tend to lean more towards Griffin in his underneath play. He really came through for the Teddies tonight, even after getting the knee taken out and coming back very strong.
Okay, then so let's flip. He goes up, and it's Griffin. I like that.
All right, the good flip. And on the north side, James, who do you got?
Well, I tell you what, it's so easy to just pick Khalid and Chris each night. And but I tell you, Chris Rainey really came to play not only on the offensive end, but also on the defensive end. I probably would lean more toward Chris Rainey as the player of the game.
On that one, I will definitely give a second nod, Chris Rainey.
Oh, okay, then. So we have the two defensive end.
Rainey.
Players of the game.
And let's take a look at Rainey.
Look at the hang time in the air. Just
unbelievable, and it dropped.
That's called God-given.
Definitely. That could have been one of the backbreakers for the Teddies this evening right there. And James, any final comments?
Well, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to the 5AA region. I tell you, it's going to be outstanding. It's the strongest region in the state. It's a shame that you got to group all those teams like Roosevelt and North all in the same region where they battle each other, and then they have to just have one winner come out. I tell you, if you split one of those two teams into different regions, you probably would have them meeting for the state championship.
And we'd like to take a quick shout out to all our sponsors once again. Let's run them. Professional Sports Linkage, Jim Marshall and Oscar Reed. Also our friends at Club Fed, a human resource agency serving North and South Minneapolis. With 26 agency members, it's not hard to see Club Fed is your connection to the connections. Also, hands-on after-school program, a program that challenges young active minds to grow through expression and the arts. With special support from Bays Chow Mein, located on Minnehaha Avenue in the South Roosevelt area. And can you believe these guys deliver a triumph for a unique lunch break? And of course, the MASW crew food headquarters, Carboni's Pizza on the Parkway, located on Cedar and the Parkway. It definitely keeps our crew happily fed. You have been tuned to a Metro Area Sports Wrap production. Our final score this evening from Roosevelt High School was North High 54, Roosevelt 52. Our players of the game, Chris Rainey and Johnny Griffin, and our players of the game were brought to you by Professional Sports Linkage, Jim Marshall and Oscar Reed, two former Minnesota Vikings working to build strong communities with an office in the Sumner Olson neighborhood. stop by and say hello. I'd also like to let you know that you have been tuned to a Metro Area Sports Wrap broadcast. No reproduction or copying of this is allowed unless given express written consent from Metro Area Sports Wrap. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good evening for the crew and cast.
State, Maryland.
Handle the ball, and I think give him 2 turnovers now.
Couple turnovers.
Just as on cue.
Nice pass on the inside. Edison. Connecticut, nice pass.
And conversion. Marcus
Put in place. Sometimes brothers and sisters.
By Johnson. Johnson gets the ball.
Oh, what a talk!
And a nice pick, very well. They've got a very deep bench, very deep vent. His first points. Southwest with another. Excuse me. Oh, and again.
Oh.
Anything. Oh, Griffin with the dunk.
He'll come back for redemption. Pass Williams.
Look at this replay. Look at is that Khalid? Yeah, that's Khalid El-Amin going in.
I'm in contact with. He would immediately return back to God.
You're missing is the kid named Flowers.